What's up, everyone? We're back.
Dr. Maxfield.
Dr. Shaw, and I need you guys to rate our decorations. I'm responsible for the globe back here. He's responsible for this horrible foliage that he decided to bring inside. And now we have this plant to look at.
It's like a fall theme. It's nice. It's nice. No denying it. I also got the table. That's me.
All right, so this video today, we got something really important to talk about. So a lot of you guys have asked us to talk about our skincare routines. And I'm a little hesitant to talk about my skincare routine because I think the mistake people make is that they copy other people's skincare routines too often, thinking that if I copy that person's skincare routine, my skin will match their skin. But we all have different concerns. We have other problems that we're trying to target. And so you should actually have a very tailored skincare routine to your specific problems. And so that's why I've always been hesitant to say, hey, this is my skincare routine, because I'm afraid people will just buy the products that I recommended and then they'll start using them.
This is like the most common error I think we see people do is they have a ton of products. There are a lot of good products out there, but they're not really picking the ingredients that are right for what they're worried about.
Right. And so I have this saying that good products don't make a good routine. So there's a bunch of products that go viral and they're great products. They really do. They have great ingredients. They do exactly what they say they're going to do. But then they're in someone's routine that doesn't actually have the problem that they're targeting. And then it's not going to really do anything for you. If anything, it could cause you some harm because you don't need that ingredient, right? So you were actually asked to critique someone's skincare routine on TikTok, right? Someone tagged you in a video.
Yeah.
And when you were researching the routine, what did you find?
But the thing that jumped out at me is they were just listing off ingredient after ingredient after product after product. It was a lot. And they had too many products, too many things that weren't doing anything for them. There were 5 niacinamide products, like 5 hyaluronic acids in there, 5 glycerin products, 3 hyaluronic acids. So my main thing that I did first was just like simplify, just take a step back, trim it down.
Simplify, consolidate, and be deliberate. Know exactly why you're using a product and whether or not it's actually going to address any of your concerns. So all of your active ingredients should really be tailored to your specific concerns. So today, my homework assignment to all of you is to go to your cabinet, whatever you're using in your skincare routine, and ask yourself, what does this product even do? I know it's a good product, people have recommended it, but is it even targeting something that I have a concern about? And if not, move it to the side. So with that being said, this video is going to be called How to Craft the Perfect Skincare Routine. And we're going to go through some of the main concerns that people have, what ingredients to look for, and what product recommendations we have within that category. There'll be a more comprehensive video coming for each of these categories. So for a better understanding, more product recommendations, but this is just going to be sort of an intro. And then that way I don't feel bad about releasing my skincare routine video. And then you can decide whether or not you think my products are appropriate for you.
All right, here we go.
Here we go.
When you look in the mirror in the morning, what are the horrible atrocities that you see? Just kidding.
Well, I think it's important to know that, neither of us have perfect skin. I actually think at baseline, Dr. Maxwell has better skin than I do at baseline. So I have to work a little bit harder, and that could apply to you as well, right? Someone might have to work a little harder than someone else. It's frustrating for you because you're like, why does this person have perfect skin? They just wash their face with bar soap. But I'm somebody who struggles with skin, with breakouts, with texture issues, with dark spots. And so, I'm very deliberate about what I choose. And so right now, I feel pretty good about my skin. Some of the things that I'm personally trying to target, and I'll go into more detail in my skincare routine, anti-aging and texture. So those are the 2 things that I'm targeting. And each of my products are targeted at those specific issues, in addition to my sensitive eyes. So that also plays a role. So I have eye creams, but I'm not going to keep talking about this because you guys are going to hate me. But I'm very deliberate. And so let's talk about some of the main categories. Acne. So category number 1, what ingredients to look for acne, and what products do we recommend?
The first ingredient that you just have to lay down as the foundation for acne is always got to be the retinoid. It targets the most of the causes of acne, and it definitely has the strongest data and decades of experience with it.
Retinoid is definitely foundation of acne routine and probably the number 1 product recommendation over the counter. It's good to have some of these retinols that are available, but like we said in our retinoid video, which we'll link above, adapalene is probably the best option for acne over the counter. And so the 2 products that I would recommend are Differin Gel, within the retinoid category, and La Roche-Posay has an adapalene product in their Effaclar line. So those are the two products, and actually it turns out, a little hack a lot of people don't know about, is that the La Roche-Posay product is actually cheaper when you go ounce to dollar. So you actually get bigger bang for your buck when you buy the La Roche-Posay product.
Now, there's a lot that we can pick from for the second ingredient, though.
Yeah, so that's tough, right? I think there's 4 ingredients that matter. Retinoid, number 1. Number 2, benzoyl peroxide,
That's it.
which has level 1 or grade A evidence, and it's amazing for inflammatory acne because it gets rid of that bacteria. It has anti-inflammatory properties, also helps to break down some of the comedones to some degree. Some people don't tolerate benzoyl peroxide that well. It can be irritating for some people. It can be drying for some people, and also can bleach your fabrics, right? So you got to be careful about that. No one told me about that when I was younger.
Yeah,
I used
no
to
one
actually
told me.
bleach my facial hair and my eyebrows and everything. So
How much did you use?
well, I was a Proactive kid. So my parents put me on Proactive because it was the big thing back then.
I was a teacher oil kid, and we'll talk about that more in another video.
Yeah. He was like a DIY type of kid. Since discovering medicine, he has a lot to say about that whole movement and how it's actually very dangerous, but we'll kind of get more into that as well. And so benzoyl peroxide is a great ingredient for acne. It's actually great for back acne as well because it comes in a wash.
So a couple of products we like for benzoyl peroxide. Panoxyl makes a 4% and a 10% wash, both the rinse-off products.
In the washes, you kind of want to leave on for maybe 5 minutes or so for them to have those antibacterial properties. Benzoyl peroxide also a great spot treatment. And more recently, CeraVe came out with an acne foaming creamy wash. I don't remember the exact name, but it's a 4% benzoyl peroxide that tends to be pretty gentle if you're somebody who gets a little bit irritated by those 10% ones or even the other panoxyl option. So benzoyl peroxide, great ingredient for inflammatory acne and also has other benefits, but we'll talk more about that later. Another amazing ingredient for acne, which you've probably heard about all the time, is salicylic acid, sometimes referred to as beta hydroxy acid.
But
well, interesting. Hold on, freeze. I'm gonna be the first one to say it.
Man.
I'm gonna drop this news on the community. So technically, chemists actually don't consider salicylic acid to be a beta hydroxy acid, interestingly enough. But in most cosmetic chemistry literature and in most literature that exists, they're used sort of interchangeably, but it turns out that it doesn't actually have the characteristics chemically of a beta hydroxy acid, but it's just really more semantics.
You didn't even give me the chance to rip on them because, it's not like I knew this a long time ago either. It's just, it's a hidden fact.
We just discovered it this week, both of us together at the same time. We discovered this news. So regardless, one of the best products for this is the Paula's Choice 2% BHA liquid exfoliant viral skincare product. People love it. It's an amazing leave-on acne treatment. And actually salicylic acid has level 2 or grade B evidence, interestingly enough, but it's an amazing ingredient to lift acne away and also lift oil away.
So if we're gonna go by grades, we have to talk about azelaic acid.
Azelaic acid, of course, the one that we're going to want to use in pregnancy. We like the Ordinary's azelaic acid. We like Paula's Choice azelaic acid. These are both great products. It comes into 10% over the counter, and then we have higher concentrations that are available by prescription, but this is also an ingredient with level 1 or grade A evidence and safe to use in pregnancy and while breastfeeding. So amazing ingredient, azelaic acid.
Okay, and if you had to put a vitamin, you get to pick one vitamin that's not vitamin A on your face, which would you go with? Any water-soluble, fat-soluble vitamin, your pick for acne.
Oh, so if I had to put a vitamin on my face for acne, I would go with niacinamide.
Me too.
Yeah, so great ingredient for acne. We love it. And it actually has some evidence for treatment of acne.
Yeah.
So basically, we've listed ingredients to look for acne. So if you have acne and you're making your skincare routine, you need to have one of these ingredients, otherwise you're not treating your acne. So when you're formulating your perfect skincare routine and you have acne, start with one, see how you do it for 2 months, and then maybe add another ingredient. But these are your key ingredients for acne, and you're a little bit closer to your perfect skincare routine.
If you have any scarring from acne though, just leave it at home and go see a dermatologist. It's just so important to me to get people into a dermatologist who have scarring acne because there are so many great treatments available prescription-wise that scarring can usually almost always be avoided if caught early enough.
Yeah, and I will go to the end of the world to treat your acne. So, trust your dermatologist. We really are there for you. We really will try to come up with the best treatment plan that works for you. And if you're into more natural options, we'll put together something that will be both natural and also something that will work for you. Number 2 category where you're going to craft your perfect skincare routine is going to be anti-aging or wrinkles and fine lines.
This seems like another topic that's just so important to so many people for our age group. It's right where people are kind of jumping into this and everybody kind of wants to talk about it.
Fine lines, wrinkles, we're going to have a whole video on this, break down exactly how these things work, and we're going to draw diagrams. It's going to be an amazing video. I already have it sort of pictured in my mind. But these are the sort of ingredients you want to look for anti-aging. Main one, again,
Retinoids.
Incredible ingredient. I mean, incredible ingredient. There's very few times you shouldn't have this in your routine. Pregnancy, of course, but great ingredient. We'll link our retinoid video above, but amazing anti-aging ingredient. It's something I personally use in my skincare routine at night. I actually prefer the prescription forms of retinoids such as tretinoin, but retinol is a great option over the counter for anti-aging. So I look at anti-aging into 2 broad categories, ones that protect your collagen and ones that build your collagen.
So the first step being protect the collagen. Obviously, we're talking about sunscreen.
Sunscreen is critical. So what sunscreen are you going to choose? That is very, very dependent on you. As long as it's SPF 30 plus and broad spectrum, it's going to check all the boxes. For me, I like obviously the mineral-based sunscreens, but at the end of the day, whatever you're going to wear every day wins in my book.
Yeah, we have very different tastes and different goals with sunscreen, but 100%, if you're not wearing it, it's not helping.
He goes for the Mark Zuckerberg look, and I go for that more kind of like cosmetic elegance, but we'll go more into that. But ultimately, find a sunscreen, wear it every single day. Number 2 for protection is antioxidants. So antioxidants help to prevent free radical damage that damage your collagen. This can happen from the sun, this can happen from environmental stressors, but your main ingredients here are going to be things like your vitamin C, your pantothenic acid, your niacinamide. These have antioxidant properties, and the list is going to be way too long, but I'll list my favorite vitamin C and niacinamide products below. The next thing would be building collagen. So what kind of things build collagen?
Retinoids again.
Retinoids, we'll link our favorite retinol products below again, and that's going to be very helpful for you. So retinol, number 1. Number 2, vitamin C again. Niacinamide also has some evidence for it. And then of course, dermatology procedures. We can't neglect this because I think that they really probably do the best job with building collagen at the end of the day. So it'd be a little bit disingenuous for me to say like all these people with amazing skin that look, much younger are not using these collagen building procedures. So things like microneedling, things like laser resurfacing, these things are really, really great at building collagen. And so just keep that in mind as well.
Yeah, that can't be understated, I think, from my perspective, because you have so many people out there telling you, like, these topical products are going to revolutionize your skin, and they can do an amazing job. But when I think about, like, efficacy and which one of these is just most effective overall, for me, it's like procedures here, and then topicals here, even retinoids. There's like a big step off between procedures. So not everyone can get a procedure. Not everybody wants a procedure.
And to be quite transparent, neither of us have done collagen building procedures. So we haven't done microneedling, we haven't done lasers. So you don't need these things, but they are really effective as we get older and our skin becomes less resilient. And another way to build collagen is actually some of these deeper exfoliants like chemical peels and some of the stronger exfoliants that are available at home. Some of the top ones for this are actually going to be the ordinary peeling solution. And actually Paula's Choice has one that's a little bit more gentle. It's a 25% AHA, 2% BHA solution. I mean, one of the top products in its category. So that's going to be great for anti-aging. The last thing in the anti-aging category would be sort of masking your fine lines and wrinkles. And so one of those things would be like hyaluronic acid or glycerin, things that just kind of immediately plump the skin. We obviously like the Vichy Mineral 89 as an option, but there are a lot of hyaluronic acid products out there. You only need one, and just be aware that this is a temporary plumping effect on the skin. And so I actually prefer to use it in the morning for that reason. They have other hydrating properties and soothing properties as well, but for anti-aging, your hyaluronic acid really belongs most in the morning because of that immediate plumping effect it has on your fine lines and wrinkles.
Yeah, and this is something easily paired with a moisturizer because you put on this humectant, the hyaluronic acid, sucks up moisture, plumps, then moisturizer right on top, seal it in.
Here we go. For anti-aging, we kind of have a list of things. So if you're looking for anti-aging and you're not using one of these ingredients, you're probably not treating your anti-aging issues. So if you randomly have benzoyl peroxide in your skincare routine, you're not really treating your anti-aging. And so drop that from your routine. You don't need it. The next category is uneven texture. And the only reason I'm listing is because it's something important to me. It's just that sort of like dullness to your skin. You kind of have uneven, the way the light reflects, you just kind of look tired. It's kind of hard to describe it. Your pores are more visible. It's just this texture of the skin, and everyone's normal to have texture. If you zoom in on our faces, we both have texture issues as well. So this is totally normal, but things that can improve your texture would be exfoliants. I think that's probably the number one thing you can do for texture, followed by retinoids. And so lactic acid, salicylic acid, glycolic acid, mandelic acid. So find products that you like for these categories. I'm going to do a whole video on exfoliation so that you know which exfoliant to choose. I personally like lactic acid because it hydrates and exfoliates at the same time, but you got to find one that you like, and I'll link a couple products below as well for that category.
Yeah, and the caveat here is, I think it's hard for people to resist the urge to mechanically exfoliate their skin. They see a textural change and they, you just want to physically smoothen it out. Just resist that urge on the face. It's going to counteract what you're trying to do here.
And it will work temporarily. Like, you'll notice your skin looks less dull initially, but that rough abrasive thing is not something you can do long term to your skin, and so you're really not going to see long-term benefits that you would see with your chemical exfoliants.
Okay, and then the last part of aging we're going to talk about is dyspigmentation or hyperpigmentation.
This is something that is super, super important to me. As many of you know who follow me on other platforms, I'm South Asian, and so a lot of people in my family suffer from hyperpigmentation. A lot of my friends suffer from hyperpigmentation. It's actually one of their biggest aging concerns that they have, is because people with darker skin types tend to age with more dyspigmentation and hyperpigmentation. So this is a big category and something that people care a lot about, and it's very, very important. So we are definitely going to have a much longer video on this, but what kind of things treat hyperpigmentation? Retinoids.
Again, there it is.
Vitamin C.
Azelaic acid.
Niacinamide. Hydroquinone is actually one of the top ingredients.
Ultra effective.
Hydroquinone, amazing ingredient. It was banned in some countries at some point, so there's a lot of fear surrounding hydroquinone. It's a very safe medication if used correctly. My concern with hydroquinone is actually not from any concerns about carcinogenesis, which is why it was banned, actually, is because of those types of concerns.
Yeah, that's surprising. But
there's really no evidence that it causes that. My concern with hydroquinone comes from the risk of what we call exogenous ochronosis, which is basically permanent discoloration of the skin that happens with long-term hydroquinone use. And so I really don't recommend using it more than 3 months over the counter without discussing it with your dermatologist. So over the counter, they do have options. I don't know what the highest percent is available in the country anymore. At one point it was 2%, at some points I think it was 4%, but ultimately I wouldn't use it longer, but it's very, very effective. Don't use it longer than 3 months without talking to your dermatologist.
So hyperpigmentation is something you have to be aware it takes time. Like, this is actually something that's going to take months to improve. I'd say even longer than waiting out your acne treatment. We're talking like 3, 6 months to even a year to really see the full benefit for hyperpigmentation.
Yeah, it can take a while to see improvement. You just got to be patient with it. And of course, wearing sunscreen. I think a lot of people that do suffer from hyperpigmentation are historically told that they don't need to wear sunscreen. So people with darker skin types tend to not wear sunscreen because they don't burn in the sun. And you cannot treat hyperpigmentation unless you're wearing sunscreen. It just does not work. Point blank period. So, the first thing I do, I spend probably like 15 minutes just being like, you need to wear a tinted sunscreen in order for any of these treatments to work, please. But I mean, I've seen miraculous results with hyperpigmentation. If you follow a treatment protocol and also wear sunscreen at the same time, it really, really can see improvement with it. So of course, lasers as well, but we have a lot of treatments for hyperpigmentation, but we'll go into more details of that. So, I mean, all of these things can be effective. You have natural options that are effective as well. But at the end of the day, just pick 1 or 2 of these ingredients, stick with them. Sometimes you can find serums that have both of these ingredients. For example, the Niacinamide Dark Spot Serum from First Aid Beauty has both niacinamide and licorice root in it. Both of them help to fade hyperpigmentation. You can buy each of these ingredients individually from the Inky list. They have an alpha arbutin, they have a tranexamic acid. But like I said, pick 1 or 2 of these that are going to be effective for you and then stick with them. So if you're looking to treat hyperpigmentation and you have some random ingredient in your routine like
hyaluronic acid.
Yeah, so if you're using hyaluronic acid and you're like, I'm going to fade my hyperpigmentation, not going to work, right? So you got to look for these ingredients that actually fight what you're trying to treat. And we're going to list this all sort of categorically below so that you know what products to look for. And then I want you to pick 1 or 2 actives and then start incorporating them into your routine. And actually pick the thing that's most important to you. If you have acne, that's probably going to be the most important thing for you. So focus on your acne first. Then focus on maybe your hyperpigmentation as your acne starts to resolve. So pick what your most important concern is, and then pick actives that are going to fight it, and then sandwich it between cleanse and protect. But this is how you craft your perfect skincare routine. So when we drop our skincare routines, ask yourself, do I have that problem? And if so, you can use those ingredients. If not, come back to this video and focus on that.
All right, y'all, thanks for tuning in.
Please like, comment, and subscribe. We really appreciate all the support that you guys have given us over the past couple months, and the channel continues to grow, and we're very cognizant of trying to make content that's really valuable to you guys. And so if you have any content ideas, please drop them below. We actually use those comments to guide our next videos, and so it's really, your feedback is actually super important to us. We look at everything. We don't have a chance to respond to everything. We wish we could, but we do see the comments, and we really do appreciate everything that you guys contribute to making this channel great.
Yeah, we greatly appreciate you.
See you next time.
So his chapstick right now is Aquaphor hand cream. My chapstick is actually Neutrogena's Norwegian formula hand cream.
Not sponsored by either
Not sponsored,
options.
but isn't it ironic that both of us are using a non-chapstick chapstick?
Aquaphor.
Neutrogena.
Keep your lips hydrated.
Keep them squishy.